Well, good afternoon, everyone. We are starting project number 5, and I am very excited. As I said when we were picking out rock with Adam yesterday, the only thing missing in this backyard is the sound of running water. We've got some challenges, and the team is handling them with grace and care. So we really appreciate that. One of the challenges is the access we have. So we're gonna have to take everything over a patio. With that, we're gonna be putting down some protecting fabric as well as our mats. But then we have a little tight of an area where we're kind of bringing the boulders alongside the house. What we're doing is a really cool Fountainscape. So we've got a perfect backdrop. We've got these nice old birch trees. Adam's gonna work at transplanting some of these bigger plants out for us, trying to save them, because we have a lot of boulder work we have to do. We have to place some boulders around that birch tree, around the backside, and tie into some of the boulders that are already here, because we're gonna have a spillway bowl tucked underneath this birch tree coming out. It's gonna be perfect for all the birds. It's really nestled under the tree, giving them a safe place to kind of come in, bathe themselves, and fly out. We're also gonna make sure that has a nice calm water. So we're gonna fill it up with gravel, and then that spillway is just gonna kind of come into the basin. Over on this side is gonna be the bird attractor, the thing that produces the sound. So we're gonna have our stacked slate wall, that's a curved wall coming towards their house. So we've got an awesome view. We'll show you here that they like to sit at their kitchen table, dining room table, looks right out at this. So we're gonna have a perfect view. It's gonna block some of this road noise on the back here, and it's really gonna just kind of send the beacon out for that sound of running water to bring in that wildlife. I'm really excited because we've got all the things we can to help really attract the birds and then keep them here once they're here, because they're avid bird watchers. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nick the Pond King, and we're just trying to show you that water features are fun everywhere. This time it's right here in Woodbury, Minnesota. If you have not, hit that subscribe button or even drop a comment. All right, what's up, everyone? It's the start of day 2. Really, we started yesterday just kind of doing a lot of prep work, coming up with a game plan as a team. They have such a beautiful and lush garden. The garden gnome hopped in there with a plan on how to take care of the plants as best as we could and get them moved aside and protected. So I'm really excited. He had some really good plans. We'll be able to keep them hydrated while we're here, keeping them good and ready for us to be able to hopefully plant a lot of them back around the water feature. But this water feature is going to take up a lot of this space with that moving water, and we've already got a lot of greenery, which is going to be just awesome. Perfect backdrop. So I've got things set up for the team. I've got boulders selected. I just took a little bit of pink duct tape, threw them on some of our boulders that we're going to just put aside for our retaining wall. Basically, we're going to be building a small retaining wall to really encompass our water feature. And one thing they asked is if we could help level off that gravel a little bit on the hillside for them. So we've got some boulders selected to kind of taper off on this hillside for the gravel as well. I'm excited. We're going to end up moving one of these boulders that was here just to help open up the view and really open and bring your eye to this. Guys are starting to place things. We've got all the plants pretty much moved aside. All right, well, I left the guys up to their own devices, and it was a good thing. They've been working on placing some outcroppings and some boulders, and they've done a really good job. So we're trying to make it so that pathway is a little easier for them to walk on as they're making their way up here. And then we're tying that into what we're building. So it'll be a nice transition as we make our way from the boulders coming underneath the tree. And things are going great. A lot of cool things I came to here. Aiden had a great idea of using our curb buddies to place the blade on, help balancing us out so we're not putting anything too much on the patio here. Patio is going to be in good shape, I think. But it's about lunchtime. Guys are going to go take lunch, and then we'll be back to work on it this afternoon. So the guys did a really good job placing our boulder walls and really coming up with how we're going to be able to build this and how we're going to be able to make this work in a really good way. So we wanted to protect our birch trees. We had to do that with boulders. Now that they're in place, we're deciding on where we're going to put our basin. I did the project with four small aqua blocks. We ordered larges when we did our pre-buy for Aquascape through the winter. So I had a whole pallet, and I decided, you know what, let's just use the larges and let's do a little comparison, because what we're wondering is maybe we're evaporating a little bit more water with our smaller basins. So we're going to get a little extra water in here, which just gives us some more freedom to make this as big as we really want to make it. We've got plenty of liner. We can push it how we want it to. Right now, the guys are just working on the feel where to get it. So the reason we wanted to build our wall first is because we are going to be digging out a good amount of soil. We want to be able to have that soil be able to be put against something and be able to be sturdy. We're going to go negative 26 off of our 0 spot. So this is going to be about 6 inches lower than the patio. Pretty excited by that. That's going to give us some freedom for a couple of waterfalls.
We're all ready to rock and roll for tomorrow, where we start to put in the spill bowl and the fountain wall, and that's going to be the really fun part. I mean, now we're going to start playing with how it's actually going to look. This is all the technical stuff that has to come first and has to be done and done right for everything else to work properly going forward. Like I say, we had a great day.
The guys got some really good things going on here with some big boulders, where we're placing this, and then how we're going to place the wall. We've got a huge boulder that's got some really cool pink to it inside this blue, and then the waterfall rock we've got on MT85 behind me is going to actually be a really great frame rock and waterfall to sneak in there in front of this wall, and it's going to match that rock in a really nice way. But right now we're working on placing a frame rock to try and trap this water off of this spillway bowl to kind of carry that horsetail look down and into the basin. So that is what we're trying to do here. Really excited the way this is working though. We've got this in a really great spot so that if you're sitting and enjoying your seating over on this spot, you've got a great view of it. Sound's going to project all the windows really nicely. It's going to go into the main part of the home really nicely as well. We're using 2-inch line and then we're reducing down to inch. So we've got ourselves inch ball valves coming into hard pipe. We like to use a spa flex to get to that. So we've got a lot of hard pipe. We've got some spa flex mixed in. So that makes it so we can get these right into the right spot. And then we use the hard pipe coming out so that we can have these level. And then we're also going to be putting some gravel in this wall so that it helps it have some stability to it. But you really want these to be fairly straight up and down, fairly level side to side, you know, and really shooting straight. That way the water only goes and starts falling back on itself instead of just shooting straight up or off to the side. You want it to kind of billow on itself. So yeah, this is looking great. And then off of that, he's got a 1 introducer to that 2-inch line. That'll go to our final spillway bowl. That'll be right in this area. So yeah, things are going great. So we are winding down the day here, and it has been a great day. We got so many boulders placed, got the bowls placed. You can see we got both of them over there. Got plumbing almost done. We'll finish that up in the morning. But man, things are looking great. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll be doing foaming, details, gravel, cleanup, and really hopefully we'll get this up and running and you'll get to see it running. I'm really excited to show it off. Like always, we like to clean up at the end of the day. Try and minimize our mess, make it so people can walk around their yard a little bit. But it is still heavy-duty construction, so it's not uncommon to see a pile of boulders, a bunch of mats in your backyard, wheelbarrow full of dirt, some tools laid aside. So today we're still going to be working on plumbing, details, and I think we're going to have a team break off to start the basin and start prepping for the next project here. Can't wait to get water up and running. I'll probably be back tomorrow morning with the team and hopefully it's running and doing what we can to do our final cleanup and get everyone out for the day and leave them with a peaceful, tranquil, new water feature. Really excited to see this come to life. The cool thing is we've taken our time with all our ball valving, making sure each water feature of the 5 different outputs are gonna have their own ball valve. And that's gonna make it so we can have complete control over making sure we're evenly distributing the water. The other thing is we're using a 4,000 to 7,000 gallon an hour pump on this, so we're gonna have adjustability via that control box or the app on the phone. So we'll be able to control it too. So maybe at night they might wanna turn everything down a little bit. Definitely a challenging working area, but the guys are doing it with care and it's looking awesome. So that's our biggest thing. We always wanna make sure we're producing a piece of artwork we're proud of and that we're taking our time to care about our clients' property, because we are highly aware that we are on their property. We are highly aware that there is landscaping having been done and a beautiful garden. So I get excited when we get to work in these gardens because we know that this is just gonna pop with all the gardening they do. So keep watching. We'll get this up and running for you guys, and then before you know it, we'll come back in a couple of years to show you how it's matured and how awesome it's looking. But first things first, we're gonna get it up and running. We got our garden gnome doing his thing, looking for opportunities for plantings here to try and replant any of the things that we took out here. I'm really excited. We got the bowl filled with gravel, so that's gonna be the perfect bird bath. Nothing too deep. They'll be able to go in there and splash around. The little bowl's already full. Things are looking great around here. Before you know it, Adam's gonna get a chance to plug it in and bring his creation to life. And then we'll get to showcase this beautiful water feature. Keep watching. One thing we always like to encourage our clients is to let us know what's going on in your yard. In this case, they had some gravel put in when they did their initial landscaping, and this was very steep and pitched, very much hard to walk on. So put a few boulders in there and brought in a lot of gravel to really smooth this out and make it a little easier for them to walk on. So it will shift a little over time, and then you'll get to here and it'll be super easy to just walk across. That's gonna blend us in right to a nice mulch, so we'll have a nice little border here of gravel transitioning. Justin's doing one of my favorite things in the entire industry that we get to do, is to rinse off the boulders. So fun. Right there, our client went up to Adam and said, I really like that boulder. Please make sure it gets in a prominent spot. Adam told the team, Justin got it in a real great spot. So your eye is gonna go right to that cool boulder. I can't wait to turn this on. It is beautiful. I can't wait to show it off to you guys. We're close. We got a lot of cleanup to do. So this is one of the things we want you to kind of see and have an expectation of when we do come work for you, is that it's heavy duty construction. Even on our small feature here, we still brought back 20,000 pounds of material. So we have to do that somehow. And for us to really have some really cool boulders and really have that impact that we made here, we really want to make sure we can use our machine. So the other cool thing is when we do that, we get to put some extra boulders in certain spots for accents for you. That boulder was one that was left over. Just a beautiful boulder. I couldn't stand taking it away from the property and asked them, what do you think of us putting a couple of outcroppings in here for you guys where there's maybe some spots in the garden things aren't exactly growing? They said, yeah, that's a great idea, go ahead. So that's something we'll do for our clients often too, is just a couple of little accents for them while we're here, while we have the leftovers.
Here we are at the end of project number 5 in Woodbury, Minnesota. And let me tell you, this was a beautiful backyard to work in. Check it out. Now, even though this is just considered a Fountainscape, we wanted to make sure that it had as much action as possible, that it was attractive to the birdies, that they would come in, they would want to splash around, take a drink. And that's the reason why we love having these bowls here. With these bowls set up as they are, with the gravel in them, shallow zones where birds could come, frolic around, get a drink, bathe a little. One of the things I especially love about this is this little pool right here. Just right there. It just gets filled up with a little splash over coming off of this bowl. But this little pool, birds are gonna love that. They're just gonna flock to that. Justin was able to, on one of his outings with his daughter, one of his bike rides, he was able to come across some moss that we brought in, packed around here. That really helped bring in some of the green. And then we took the plants that we took out of this area and tried to stage as many of them around and nearby as possible to help bring that green in, bring that softness in. The basin starts about here and goes over here, and so it's just this last half that is actually sitting on soil. Everything else is over the basin, and we've got a bib liner that's holding all this water up from going into the basin here and pushing it, allowing it to come over here. We've got 2 1-watt lights in the wall itself, and that'll light that up nice at night. We've got a 1-watt in the big bowl here, give illumination here, and then we have 2 3-watts, one right up here at the very base, and then one underneath all of this, underneath this pole to light up this wall at night, and that's really gonna make for a stunning statement. I love it when we get the lights in here to just kind of push everything forward.
We are Pond King Water Gardens, where we create living works of art, 1 yard at a time.